Hi guys, I'm here to make a video for you today that's going to help you make sure you cite your sources for your homework. This is really going to help for the future pieces of writing that you'll be doing, and it really makes you more like an awesome journalist. So I know that you tried really hard in a lot of your flash drafts for me last week, but we've kind of changed our tone to a more complex style of writing. You're being journalists, you're trying to quote people. And Ian brought up in class today that you can use quotes to make sure you're not plagiarizing. Well, that's a good point, but what exactly are you allowed to quote, and at what point is a quote not enough? So let's take a look in Google Chrome and see how that will help us. So I'm going to open up Google Chrome here. It is loading. You might have heard Mr. Heasley just say bye to me in the background. I'm not sure. Didn't respond. All right, come on, Google Chrome. Please open. There we go. So sometimes even my computer runs slow. So please make sure you're logged into Google Chrome. Okay, let's go into the Google Classroom. And if we go in here and open up the classroom. Okay, I wanted to go through this step just to show you the things I posted today for your homework. So I'm going to open up the notes on teen activism. So that's going to show up in one window. I'm also going to show up starter packet kit for teen activism, because that's some of the sources. Okay, so here's our guidelines for the notes. Okay, let's say that I read through this PDF and I say, you know what, I want to learn a lot more about Iqbal Masih regarding child labor. Maybe I don't have enough information. Maybe I want to tell a story about Iqbal and kind of expand my writing, and this source, Free the Children, is not enough. So what am I going to do about that ethically? Well, proper research would say you're going to go to Tools, Research. Okay, and this is a unique name. Let's see what comes up. Iqbal. Let's see if it just brings up. It doesn't. Apparently in their part of the world that's a more common name. So Iqbal Masih. I'm going to be careful to spell it correctly. Iqbal Masih. IH. Okay. Spelling is important for research, for sure. Okay. So it's doing some search for me. Okay, great. There's some pictures. So wow, date of death. Okay. Let's find a good source. Wikipedia is not your best bet in the type of research that you're doing. What we're trying to do is create research. We're eventually going to write a story that is journalistic. So it's factual, it's informational, but it has a sense of passion. And sometimes I find Wikipedia can either be overwhelming or we're not getting, it's just not the best source in the world. Ooh, what is this? This looks amazing because I already know that he was killed for his activism. So a bullet can't kill a dream. I'm going to click on that. Ooh, cool. This is a neat site. So this looks like another teacher might have made this for students about him. Wow, this looks like a really neat site, and there's a very decent amount of information. I can handle that. Okay, but let's say I want to take some facts. So we kind of clarified this today. We know I cannot just copy this like I just did and paste it in there. That is an absolute no-no. I also, though, I can't, let's say I want to do this. I'm feeling a little bit lazy, and I'm thinking, you know what, maybe if I just open this screen and I take kind of, I gotta try to not split here. What if I just try to take some notes, copying one screen to the other, okay? That's not okay. And what Ian was talking about today is if I want to quote someone, I have to find a quote that they said. So as I'm reading through this article, and you can see it too, there are no quotes from Iqbal himself. If I watched a video of him speaking, maybe I could take some direct quotes there. What that means is that all of this information is up for rephrasing. So I'm just going to briefly model here. I like this article. I'm I'm going to keep my research bar open here, but temporarily maximize my window so I can get my bullets started. Okay, bullet, minimize. Okay. Iqbal Masih was 4 years old when his father sold him into slavery. Okay, now this is where we're looking for those important, interesting facts. 4 years equals sold into slavery. Okay, I'm not going to take that whole sentence, and I'm also not going to quote it, because I only want to quote fascinating things, really, really meaningful things. So like Malala in the interviews, taking things she said or what her father said, those are interesting. Taking her book and trying to quote everything in the book, not interesting, and then it doesn't sound like you. So eventually what you'll see happen is essays that you write will get put into a system that feeds it out and tells your teacher, future writing teachers, the exact percentage of writing that sounds exactly like someone else's. So what we're trying to do now is not ever get in the habit of plagiarizing so that someday you don't accidentally get in trouble for it. Okay? So let's see. Ooh, this is a shocking fact. More than 500,000 children like Iqbal work in carpet industry. So if I didn't want to say more than, I could say over 500,000 children equals carpet laborers. Sad face, something like that to indicate that I know that that's a bad thing, okay? I could go through this and I want this to stay a short video, but the important thing I want you to notice here is my quotes are that I'm taking are only going to come from what someone is talking about. In my actual notes over here, the notes themselves are going to be just notes to myself that later I'm going to turn into a writing piece, okay? So making it full screen now. The other important thing to do is connect new ideas you find out to other insights. So something that I might write to myself that would also count as a note is Iqbal seems like Malala. Very brave. I use the dash feature. Okay, that's my own thinking in my head. That is also a totally acceptable way to create notes. All right, so I'm going to take the fact that the lights turned off on me as the sense that this video may need to close, but this is to help you see how to cite things finally. So let me come over here. I took these ideas from this article. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to one of the quotes that I took from there, or excuse me, not quotes, one of the facts that I took from there. I'm going to come over to the source I used, mirrorimage.com. I'm going to click Cite. And this little tiny number is going to come up, and ta-da! If I go down here, it shows up. It's pretty magical. So what that does for me is that leaves a little reference down here. So what you want to do is if you find a source and you want to research it on your own, to review, Tools, Research. Research bar will show up. Feel free to use any site that you want. Any site that you want. But let's say you want to take some notes from teen activist Huffington Post. Make sure that after you take some notes from that, you click the Cite button before you go to a new site. Okay? That's going to ensure that down here at the bottom, you have a nice little record of all those sites that you've been to, and that keeps you safe. Okay? So this video applies to your homework for Thursday and any other note taking that you do. You are informed. This is how to avoid plagiarism step 1, right? Thanks, guys.